So number 10 is WWF No Mercy. The reason that I put this on the list is not from a standpoint of, oh my god, I got a great deal on this. I didn't. I actually, compared to the market now, overpaid. But this is a game that I've been looking for since before I started collecting, basically. So to finally find it, fantastic. I've been told by many people this is the best wrestling game out there, and I don't necessarily think it to be true after playing it. It's very good though. The N64 wrestling games are all very good. My favorite still Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, but WWF No Mercy is still a good game to pick up. It's only worth about $5 now, and if I waited, I probably could have gotten it for cheaper than I paid, which is $10. But I really wanted this to display on the shelf and to play, and I got it. It's a really cool looking card. Number 9, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Played this a lot in the arcade at Round Table Pizza as a kid, where I grew up, at least where I grew up as a youngster. And this game was, I don't know what it was exactly, and I don't want to get into any jokes about Michael Jackson or whatever, but this game drew me in, and the music was awesome. It was different than the other games there, and I'd never played it on Sega Genesis before. The first time I played it on Sega Genesis is after I picked it up. I got it for $1 when I saw it sitting there on the table at the estate sale. I knew it was going to be a good day. And so Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, number 9. So number 8 is Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. My favorite Super Nintendo game that I currently own. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. There's no other way to explain this game, but I'm going to try. It's so goddamn charming and fun to play. It's very advanced as far as puzzles and figuring out where you need to go next, and the combat is fun, and it's advanced without being over complex, I think. And I mean, the remake that they did, not the remake, but A Link Between Worlds might be better than this, but there's nothing like putting this into the machine, booting it up, and just being engaged by those charming graphics. I got this for what turned out to be $1, and it's in perfect shape, and so I decided to put it on the list. So number 7 is Castlevania, regular old Castlevania. One of my favorite parts about this past year have been picking up NES staples of the collection. And Castlevania is definitely one of them. Metroid was one of them. Metroid didn't make the list, but Castlevania is definitely one of those games that I can plug in and sit there for hours trying to beat this game. It is definitely a tough game to beat, for me at least, but it's so much fun, so well done. The music, the graphics, everything looks great for the time, and it's just a badass label too, Castlevania. So number 6 is Contra, which is actually probably my favorite NES pickup, besides maybe 1 or 2. Maybe it's like my 3rd favorite. I don't know. But Contra is a game that I definitely played for weeks after I picked it up. Tried to beat it without using any continues, and I finally made it. And really, as far as retro gaming goes, so far this year, haven't had a better feeling than beating this without using any continues. It's an awesome game. Definitely a trial and error thing where you have to memorize what level you're on, what's next, and that's how you stay ahead of the game. But Contra is a beast of a game. So much fun to play. Really tough to play with 2 players, as I found out with my cousin Ryan. But Contra's awesome, and this is in great shape. Got it for a good price. So here's Super Mario 64 at number 5. In box, in a year that was basically slow for box games. It was a real treat to pick this up. It is a millionth seller copy, so you know that kind of bogs it down for me. But still, it's boxed, it's in there, it's a good game, and you know, certainly when I saw this, it was almost like I I opened the duffel bag that the lady had plopped on the table and saw this, and it was almost like glowing out of the duffel bag. Just seeing a boxed game that was actually worth something and that people enjoyed back in the day. You know, that was a really great feeling. So Mario 64 in box. So at number 4 is Super Castlevania 4. Basically, this game we picked up for $1, my cousin Ryan and I, from an older gentleman who was actually a gamer, and it was really cool to see him have this in there along with A Link to the Past, and I think there was Mario Kart in there too. You know, just some really, really cool games, and he said, you know what, it helps me with my eyesight and this and that. So that was a really cool story behind it. But Super Castlevania 4 is Super Castlevania 1 with better graphics, directional whip, and just overall better music. So Castlevania 4 was definitely a game that I'm happy to add to the collection. Number 3 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis. One of the biggest games on the list of games that I definitely wanted to find this year was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. I don't know why I had to say the whole title there, but TMNT 4, Turtles in Time, and I didn't find it. Well, I didn't find it for a good price. The only copies I found were like $40-$45, and I wasn't going to pay that much for it. But when I found this, and put it in and played it, I'd never played this game before. When I found out that it was exactly like Turtles in Time, it got me really pumped. And, you know, it may be weird, maybe not to some. I actually prefer the Genesis controller, at least the D-pad, to the Super Nintendo one. So it was actually a very pleasant experience playing Hyperstone Heist on the Sega Genesis, and definitely one of the top finds for me this year. So we're getting close to number 1, and some of you who watch my videos can probably do the math with some of these pickups. I don't know, but number 2 is probably the best value that I picked up this year, and that's CONKER'S Bad Fur Day. At the time, you know, it was one of those things where they listed the games. I saw that and I said, let's make a deal. We did. Ended up paying, I think it was a few dollars for this. I think it's what it came out to. Maybe not even that. And the value on it's $70, maybe a little less, maybe a little more now. And I love M-rated, R-rated stuff, so I get a kick out of this. Just such a foul game being on the Nintendo console. CONKER'S Bad Fur Day is one of the coolest things I found because it is rare, because it is good, and a little frustrating, sure, but definitely a good thing to have in the collection. And finally, the number 1 pickup from this past year, in my eyes. Again, the formula wasn't exact. It wasn't like I had some mathematical formula to calculate all these. I just kind of went on feeling and how I felt when I was picking this game up. And that mixed with value, mixed with how good the game is too. And number 1 is an NES game, Metal Storm. The recent episode of Yard Sale Adventures where I got this, if you haven't watched it yet, basically I went to a yard sale for comic books, and I asked the guy if he had any old video games, and he brought out a big box of games, of NES games, and that's where I got half of my collection that I have now. Was from this one deal, and happened to be Metal Storm along with like Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3. But I saw Metal Storm peeking out like that, and I was like, I need to get this game. Let's try to make a deal. That I knew where my limit was, and we almost reached my limit, but luckily we didn't. We stayed under, and I picked up Metal Storm. It's in great shape. You know, from afar, it looks like it's in perfect shape. If you look really close, there are some, you know, there's some wear and tear. There's some, yeah, I don't know about tear, but there's definitely some light scratches or whatever. But I mean, I've seen most of these with label damage. So when I saw the label was intact, that kind of sent it up even higher. And then when I plugged it in and played it for the first time, it's amazing. The gravity controls on Metal Storm, fantastic. The platforming is tight. Just a very fun game. Metal Storm is my #1 pickup of 2013. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Let me know what your #1 pickup was. Hell, if you have a top 10 of your pickups this year, let me know, because I want to know too. Video response, comment, whatever you want to do, I'm cool with that. I'm definitely interested to see what you got this year. So that does it for part 2 of the end of the year 2013 video. Next part will be a shout out video to all those who helped me, inspired me, gave me advice, those channels that were friendly to me, commenting on my videos. So you'll check that out, and that'll be the end of videos for me this year. And then we've got more videos coming in 2014 right off the bat. So thanks for watching, and I hope you stick around for part 3. Thanks.